There is no reason to gain a lot of excessive body fat on a bulking program or a bulking plan. I believe that the goal of a successful lean bulk is to stay relatively lean while keeping fat gain to the absolute minimum. So in this video, I want to share with you 3 ways that you can set up your own lean bulking plan and have a successful lean bulk. Build muscle while you stay lean. So over the last year, I've actually been on my own lean bulking journey, and I've gained about 11 pounds, almost 1 pound a month in the last year. And so in this video, I want to share a few of the things that I learned over the last year during my most successful lean bulk I've done yet, so that you can avoid some of the mistakes I made and have your own successful lean bulk. So I'm gonna share those in no particular order. And then at the end, I'm gonna give you those 3 ways, the 3 steps to set up your own lean bulk. So the protocols that I'm going to be going over in this video can actually be found in my free 30-day Lean for Life Jumpstart. This is a free workout routine and nutrition plan to not only lose fat, I also have a lean bulking protocol, nutrition protocol in that 30-day Lean for Life Jumpstart that you can use to lean bulk. So you don't just have to use it for fat loss. It will also jumpstart your journey to stay lean while you build muscle. And so in this video, I'm going to share what I've learned and then give you those 3 steps here at the end. But if you are just ready to get started, you can go to adamfarrellfitness.com/jumpstart, pick up that free workout routine and nutrition plan right away. I'll send it to you in your email. Let's dive right in. So over the last 11 months of my lean bulk, I've actually put on 11 pounds. Now, a little bit of that is fat gain. My waist has gone up about 1/2 inch, and it has fluctuated here or there. It's actually been as low kind of near the beginning of my lean bulk, and actually in July. So I started in January of 24, and somewhere around July, I did dip down into like a 32 3/4 inch waist, but I started at 33 inches around my waist. And so this is actually going to be a really important factor here in a minute. But basically I started my lean bulk around 172 with a 33 inch waist. I'm 6'1", and I'm currently 183, 184 pounds. So, 10 to 12 pounds of muscle, just call it 11 pounds of muscle in the last year, which is a really good, rate for a natural lifter. I have another video about, the natural rate of muscle growth, and it really is, anywhere from 1 to 3 pounds a month, depending on your experience with training, your lifting experience. But for me, I really tried to be intentional about gaining just 1 to 2 pounds of muscle per month. I really didn't want to cross that 2 pounds per month because I didn't want to have that excessive fat gain, because as a natural, the natural limit of muscle growth is 2 to 3 pounds a month. And I just was trying to be on the cautious side about that. So in the last year, 11 to 12 pounds is really good for me. That's the most successful I've been at building muscle while staying relatively lean. So as of right now, my waist is, 33.5 inches. So that indicates that I've put on, at least 2.5 pounds of fat. I'm sure, it might be a little bit more, could be less, but, my waistline has gone up. But 1/2 inch in 1 year is really, really good. I'm bigger. And, part of my story is that, I did tweak my shoulders in August of 24. And so that kind of set me back as far as like my strength gains were concerned. But I was able to keep going to the gym and, keep making gains and building muscle while kind of working around those injuries, and not just working like through pain, but really trying to, make my shoulders healthy again. And so the first thing that I really want to say that I learned, and again, these aren't in any particular order, is that I learned that it's important to start in a lean state. You want to start lean bulking when you are lean enough. If you have, 20 pounds of fat to lose, you have no business trying to put on, or trying to, bulk. There's no reason for you to be on a bulking program or a bulking routine when you've got a lot of fat to lose. You want to start in a lean state. You really want to get down to your ideal waist measurement. This is what I like to teach. The ideal waist measurement for, that is going to be healthy, that's going to, allow you to feel better and, look good when you start your bulk, and allow you to, do a longer lean bulk, is around 45% of your height around your belly button. And so I learned that, I was able to, the only reason I was able to bulk for so long is because I started lean. Again, I was at like 172, I bulked up to 183, 184. And so I've been able to do that over the last year because I started lean. I've looked better during this bulk. I'm kind of on the threshold of starting to, feel like I've gained a little bit too much around the waist. I can definitely still see my abs and all of that. But I haven't put on a bunch of excessive fat. And so I can definitely tell my jeans and pants are starting to get, a little bit tighter and stuff. And so I probably will transition into a period of cutting, doing like some sort of mini cut in the next, 4 to 6 weeks, maybe lose, about 5 pounds of fat while still building strength, and then continue the lean bulk from there. But that's really the first thing I learned is you want to start lean. What that means for you is that you want to cut fat first. You want to get lean first, and then maybe have like a 2 or 3 week maintenance period just to get your body used to that new level of leanness once your waistline is 45% of your height, and then you can start a proper lean bulk. Again, I go over this in my free Lean for Life Jumpstart, adamfarrellfitness.com/jumpstart, but I'll also share a little bit of how you can set up your lean bulk calories later in this video, so stay tuned for that. So one of the other things that I learned during the course of my lean bulk is that your weight, my weight, and my waistline is going to fluctuate day to day and week to week. And this is actually a mistake that I think a lot of people make is, one day they're 180 pounds, the next day the scale says 183, or maybe it says 177 or 178. And they're like, oh my gosh, I've lost 2 pounds. Now I need to drastically increase my calories. Or, oh my gosh, I'm gaining too quickly. I'm 183. I should be 180. What is going on? And so people do this while they're dieting and cutting as well. But the reality is that based on, the amount of carbs you're eating and how much water you're drinking, like your weight can fluctuate by 1, 2, 3, even like 4 pounds sometimes. Like my weight fluctuates literally by like 3 or 4 pounds some days. But the reality is you need to, weigh yourself daily in order to get a weekly average of weight gain on a lean bulk. Okay, so every single day I weigh myself. I go pee, brush my teeth, I weigh myself, I track it in my phone, and then every single Friday I'm basically tracking, okay, what is my average weight for this week, for the last week? What was my average weight for the week before? What was my average weight for the week before that? And basically over time, what you start to see is your body weight trending. That's the biggest thing that I learned is as long as I'm trending in the right direction, that is all that matters. You don't want to focus on the day to day. You want to focus on the week to week, month over month, and see how your body weight, your body measurements are trending. If they're trending in the right direction, you're doing the right thing. Like that's a win. That is good. And so you don't want to freak out about, your waistline, fluctuating a little bit, maybe because you're bloated or from something you ate the day before, or your body weight goes up or down because of what you ate or drank the day before. Like it's totally fine as long as you're trending in the right direction. That's all that matters. So one of the most important aspects of lean bulking is, that I've learned is that you want to focus on getting stronger on key lifts, but you don't want to be in such a hurry that you actually injure yourself. So I think I mentioned this at the beginning of the video back in August. So, almost like a little over halfway through my lean bulk, I actually ended up tweaking both of my shoulders because I got in a big hurry on, I had been increasing, got really strong. I built up like 105 pound, weighted dips, 105 pounds attached around my waist for like 8 reps. I was getting really strong, at least relative to my body weight, pretty strong on weighted dips. And I decided, you know what, I'm going to switch to the flat bench press, which I had not done in years. And I ended up putting a little too much weight on too quickly, and I tweaked both of my shoulders. Just the positioning of the flat bench just does not work well for my shoulders anymore. I've got torn labrums, and my shoulders were feeling really, really good up to that point, like literally like zero pain. And I'm finally back to that level. My left shoulder bothers me a little bit here and there, but not really like while I'm lifting. But I've finally built back up to, some pain-free pressing on like incline press and overhead press and all of that. But, when I did flat bench back in August, like it just really screwed me over for literally months, like literally up until like right now here in January of 2025. So like the last, 6-7 months, like it has been a journey to try and get back to pain-free lifting. I didn't stop. I kept making gains, but it really did kind of stall my relative strength. My weight continued to go up, a pound a month or so. But my relative strength, to be quite honest, kind of, went down. I still believe I built muscle, but you really want to focus on relative strength and getting stronger on key lifts. You just want to do it in a way that's safe and that's going to keep you healthy, your joints, happy and healthy. And for me, the biggest thing for me is, having healthy elbows and healthy shoulders, especially healthy shoulders. But that's kind of one of the biggest things I learned is not to go too quickly. Yes, you want to push yourself. You want to train, really hard. You want to train very close to failure. That's why I like things like reverse pyramid training. You do want to train very hard, very intense, but you want to do it in a way that's smart and that's going to, help you to feel better. And, you don't want to be an ego lifter. You want to look good, yes, but you want to feel good. You want to move well, too. And so that's definitely one of the biggest things I learned during my lean bulk. Focus on building strength, but do it in a safe way and don't be in a rush. Another thing I learned is, sometimes your weight might go up a little too quickly. Maybe you're being a little crazy with your calories. I haven't decided if I'm going to put this chart up yet, but basically, that shows kind of my weight, going up over the last year. I'll probably put it in here, but, there is like this spike in my weight from like August to September, and I was getting a little too loose with my calories, eating a little bit too much, and I had this spike in my weight. I don't remember if I was like 178, 179, but I went up to like 181, 182, but then I like stayed there. And that's when that's honestly that period of time, that like month or two is where my waist actually got the biggest. I was at a 33-inch waist, and it actually started to creep up during that month or two. And that's actually I think the most fat that I gained the whole time was just in that 1 to 2 month period. And then I had to really focus on eating around maintenance for, 2-3 months just to kind of maintain my weight. And, sometimes you might have to do that. That's definitely one thing I learned. If you, gain a little too quickly, you either got to reduce your calories and just kind of maintain. You might have to do a mini cut like I'm about to do here in the next, few weeks. But, sometimes you just got to coax your body to that higher or even lower body weight if you're cutting. But this is a video about lean bulking. So, sometimes you got to coax your body up to that higher body weight and get your body used to that new level of muscle and leanness and body fat percentage. And so I had to do that, basically like September, October, November. I started the lean bulk again in December. I've kind of carried that on into January. And now I think I'm ready. I'd like to probably get my waist back down to like 32.5 inches. So get a little bit leaner, lose about 5, 6, 7 pounds of fat in the next, couple months, several weeks, and then focus on lean bulking again this year, put on some more size and muscle, and really just prime my body for, new muscle after this mini cut. But the thing that I learned the most is that you're going to have to probably eat at maintenance sometimes and just kind of maintain that body fat percentage at that new level of leanness. Something else I learned is that you need to adjust your calories based on what your body is doing. So I kind of mentioned this a little bit ago that, I take my weekly average weight gain, and, that's kind of how I decide, do I need to adjust my calories? Do I need to lower my calories? Do I need to eat at maintenance for a period? Kind of like what I just talked about. Do I need to increase by another 100 calories per day? The goal of a successful lean bulk is to gain just 1 to maybe 3 pounds per month. And so you've got a starting place, and I'm going to teach you this here in a little bit, but you have your starting point, but the goal is to gain, 1 pound every 2 weeks or 2 pounds every 4 weeks, 2 pounds a month. And so if you're gaining 4 pounds a month, you are being way too aggressive with your calories. If you're not gaining any weight, you're probably eating around maintenance. If you're losing weight, you are eating under your maintenance calories. And so you want to adjust your calories based upon what your body is doing. If you start gaining too quickly, reduce calories. If you're not gaining quick enough, bring the calories up. And so that was definitely a big thing, is just paying attention to my body. How is my body responding? What is my weight doing week to week? How is my body, responding to the energy, the calories that I'm giving it on a daily and weekly basis? So that's, definitely one of the most important things that I learned. Something else that I learned is that it's okay to gain some body fat on a lean bulk. You want to keep it to the absolute minimum, and it is possible to build muscle without a lot of fat gain, but a little bit of fat gain is okay and acceptable. You could argue that it's even good to gain a little bit of fat, but you definitely want to keep it within, an inch, maybe 2 inches from your ideal waistline. So if you're starting at 33 inches like me, like you don't want to go, you certainly don't want to go above, 35 inches. For me, I started at 33, I'm at 33 and a half. I would like to maybe cut and get down to like 32 and a half, which would be about 44.5% of my height, and then continue lean bulking. But you really want to stay within an inch, maybe 2 inches, within your ideal waistline, because that means you're staying relatively lean while you are building muscle. And so, gaining fat around the waist is okay. You just want to keep it within that inch or two, and you don't want to gain all of that, in the first month, 2-3 months, or even maybe even 5-6 months into your lean bulk. Like, it should take you a pretty long time to gain fat around your waist while you build muscle. Again, the goal is just to gain 1 to 2 pounds a month, and you're going to gain a little bit of fat along the way. That's totally fine. You don't have to freak out about your waistline growing, but you will get to that point. This is what I'm learning. You will get to that point where it starts to get a little bit uncomfortable, and you want to maybe bring it back down, tailor it back down, bring the calories down, maybe do a mini cut, and then, reevaluate from there. So one of the things I kind of learned during the last year is that it's totally okay to experiment with what works for you, trying to find, different exercises, routines, programs that work for you. But you don't want to switch up things so often that you don't give yourself time, you don't give your body and your muscles time to adapt and change and grow. If you're constantly switching things up, you're not going to give your body any reason to build muscle. You want to stick with the same routine or a very similar routine for literally weeks and months on end. For the last year, I've pretty much been following the same routine. I've got my five or six key exercises that I'm tracking, and making sure that those are trending upwards. My strength is going up as the time goes on. Now, obviously, I talked about, how I kind of tweaked my shoulders. And so I basically just had to reduce the weight for a while, find different ways to lift. I had to kind of experiment with what worked for me, what still stimulated, muscle growth and strength without putting too much strain on my shoulders. And so it's okay to experiment, but you just don't want to switch things up too often, because you're not going to give your body any reason to grow. Because the most important driver of muscle growth, of hypertrophy, is gaining strength on key exercises, okay? And so focus on building strength. You want to do the same routine for long periods of time. There are ways to get around, strength plateaus and all of that. I've got another video on, what to do on, when you need to bust through a strength plateau. But you don't want to be switching your routine up. You want to do the same routine for a long period of time so that you can build the most strength and muscle as possible. So when I first started my lean bulk, one of the things I wanted to experiment with was intermittent fasting. So I've been intermittent fasting for years, probably since 2016, 2017, 7-8 years, something like that. And I love intermittent fasting. I used to fast every single day. And on this lean bulk, I kind of wanted to experiment, because in a previous lean bulk a couple of years ago, one of the biggest things I struggled with was the sheer amount of calories that I had to eat just to gain a little bit of weight. I was eating 3,500, it was something like 3,500 calories a day or something like that. But with fasting, like, it was almost impossible for me to eat a mostly nutritious, healthy diet and get in 3,500 calories in a single day. Eating between, 12 and 8 o'clock every day was kind of the feeding window that I was trying to adhere to, but I was making it very difficult on myself. But I was very strict with fasting daily. And so on this lean bulk, what I decided to do was on the mornings that I trained and that I lifted, heavy weights and worked out, I decided that I was gonna, eat a small breakfast, get at least 30 grams of protein in. I'm a family man. I've got 3 kids. I'm married. I've got a full-time job. And so I work out. I wake up at 5. I work out about, 5:30 in the morning till about 6:30. And then, in the past, when I would do that, I would fast until around 11 o'clock noon, maybe even push it a little longer, and then break my fast. But then I would have to get in, on my lifting days, 34 to 3,600 calories. And even now it's like 3,700 calories on a lifting day. That's a lot of calories to eat in a very small eating window. I was, too full and too bloated. So on this lean bulk, I decided, you know what, instead of fasting on my lifting days, why don't I just eat a small breakfast, have lunch, have a light meal before dinner, have a huge dinner, and then have my nightly dessert. And so that's kind of how I've structured my lifting day diet and nutrition plan. And I think it's worked really well for me. Kind of what I learned is, it didn't really take away from staying lean by breaking my fast. Now that I'm going to be, maybe cutting over these next several weeks, I'm probably going to, work out, and then I will probably fast until about 11 or 12, because, my cutting calories are going to be around 2,800, which is a lot of guys, like, maintenance calories around my size. But I'm probably going to eat around 2,800 calories a day for my cutting protocol. And so, I want to make that the most enjoyable 2,800 calories that I can. And so I'll probably push that fast after I train to, midday, and fit that 2,800 calories in. I'm not as strict about, like, having this feeding window anymore. So I'm not, like, trying to eat between 12 and 8 or, 1 and 9 or anything like that. Like, I just break my fast, 4 to 6 hours into the day, reap the benefits of fasting, helps you stay lean, all of that, growth hormone, increasing insulin sensitivity, it's going to help me to stay lean for sure. Basically throughout this lean bulk, I didn't fast on the days I trained, and I fasted on the days, on my rest days, just to help me kind of stay lean. So I think on this cut, I'm probably going to fast every single day, see how that goes. And maybe once I start lean bulking again, I might reevaluate, see if there's another way that I could, maybe fast every single day, because I do really like fasting. It's definitely convenient for me, but we'll see how that goes. All right, so let's talk about setting up your own successful lean bulk. So I mentioned this already, but the first thing that you need to focus on before you even think about lean bulking is to get lean first. You want to get lean first. You want to lose body fat, and you don't want to bulk until you are at or close to your ideal waistline measurement, which what I teach is that you want to get to about 45% of your height. So for me, I'm 6'1". 45% of 73 inches is around 33 inches. So that's a really, really good starting place to begin lean bulking. You want to get lean first. You're going to look better. Your body is going to be primed to put on size and muscle, and you're going to be able to bulk longer, which is something I mentioned earlier. You're going to be able to do a much longer bulk than if you start at 15-20% body fat. You're not going to be able to bulk that long, and you're just going to look worse as time goes on, because you're going to gain a bunch of extra body fat. If you start lean, you're going to be able to lean bulk longer. Again, I can teach you how to get started and set all of this up in a more streamlined workout routine and nutrition plan in my free 30-day Lean for Life Jumpstart at adamfarrellfitness.com/jumpstart. Would love to send that to you for free. Now, the second thing that you want to do to set up your lean bulk is to calculate your lean bulk calories. So I believe the best way to go about doing this is to calculate your body weight by 15. Now, this is kind of an average, like a really good starting place. Like I said, earlier in this video, you're going to want to adjust based on what your body does, but you take your body weight, multiply it by 15, and what you're gonna do is you're gonna add 200 calories to that number. This is a really good starting point to begin building, 1 to 2 pounds of muscle per month, which is a healthy, natural rate of muscle growth and muscle gain for the natural lifter. So body weight multiplied by 15, add 200 calories to that number. That is your daily calorie intake to gain a couple pounds of muscle per month, okay? So that's the second thing. The third step is to focus on building strength in the gym. You want to build strength on the right exercises, on key lifts, so that you can build muscle in the right places. Muscle is a byproduct of strength. If you want to get bigger, you want to build muscle and you want to lean bulk properly, you have to build muscle specifically, or build strength, sorry. And specifically, you want to build relative strength. Your rate of strength gain should outpace your rate of body weight gain. If you're gaining, 5 pounds, then your key lifts need to go up by 15, 20 pounds. You don't want your bench press, your incline bench press, your weighted chin up to go up by 5 pounds and gain 5 pounds. Like that's a huge loss. You're actually getting weaker. You want your relative strength, how strong you are in relation to your body weight. You want that to increase, not just your absolute strength, but your relative strength. If you want to gain 5 pounds of muscle, you need to get 15 pounds stronger on your overhead press and your incline press and your weighted chin up, right? And so you want to focus on building strength on the right exercises if you're going to put muscle on in the right places. Your upper chest, your shoulders, your arms, your quads, right? Your back. You want to build muscle in the right places. It's not just about building muscle all over your body. You want to build them in the right places with the right proportion if you're going to look your best and obviously feel your best. And so just to recap, you want to get lean first. You want to calculate your calories for lean bulking, and then you want to focus on building strength. Now, like I said, have put together a free nutrition plan and workout routine for you to actually lose fat if you're not lean enough and you want to get lean enough, and to build muscle. In my nutrition plan, I include a cutting protocol, a fat loss protocol, as well as a lean bulking protocol that you can follow to lose fat and build muscle while staying lean. I also have a really, really powerful and effective workout routine that you can follow. You can follow this for more than 4 weeks, but this is really just to get you started on a full-blown fat loss, muscle building routine and program so that you can look and feel your best in the coming weeks. And so what you can expect to lose, several pounds of fat while you also begin to build muscle by getting stronger on your key lifts by following my Lean for Life Jumpstart. You can just go to adamfarrellfitness.com/jumpstart and I will send that to you for free. I would love to know in the comments below, have you ever tried lean bulking? Are you lean bulking for the first time? Let me know in the comments below. Would love to hear from you. That's going to do it for today's video, and I will see you guys in the next one.